What's up? Tim Sykes here. Just wanted to do a quick video lesson to review today. I'm getting so many questions. I did a live trading webinar today for my trading challenge students, but I just can't answer all of the questions that those of you who don't have access to my weekly webinars give me. I wish I had more time, but this is why I have my trading challenge. It separates those of you who are serious about your education, and that's why they get webinars from me. My first two millionaire students, Michael Good and Tim Grittani, and Mark Crook, who is now up nearly 600,000, and he's doing an awesome job teaching too. This is a crazy market, and it is a shame, and it is wasteful if you are not learning or profiting. Either or, it doesn't have to be both. There are so many freaking supernovas, and I can't tell you how many people say, I've never seen this before. Is this the craziest spike ever? And my answer is, this is what I've been doing. I've been trading these and cataloging them for the past 2 decades. I try to stick with these volatile type stocks. I don't want to play guessing games about what a company or its technology or its biotechnology is worth. I like it when shit is going crazy, for lack of a better word. My whole goal is to buy the breakouts and buy dips. OPTT, very nice 2-day breakout right here, above 983, call it 10-ish. If I had bought it, and I didn't do it because I was giving a webinar, and I probably should have focused more on trading today than teaching, but it's hard when people are asking you questions, and I'll get to my trades in a second. But even if I had bought this 2-day breakout here above 10, I probably would have gotten out because, even though it broke 10 for, nearly the first hour of trading, it could not really do it. So I doubt that I would have had the patience to hold for 15, let alone 13 or 12 or even 11, just knowing myself. And that is what a lot of successful trading is about, knowing yourself. This is a great breakout, a multi-day breakout over the previous highs at 10. And if you are patient, and if you are better at buying than I am, my top millionaire students will say this too. We're all much better at shorting. And the fantastic thing is that these will all crash soon too. But we miss out on a lot of plays. So I missed buying this, and even if I did, I would have screwed it up. SPU, I did not screw up. And in fact, I actually had a perfect buy here in the low 5s yesterday before it went to 10. Now, I did not hold for 10 or even 9 or even 8 or even 7. I was in the low 5s and I was out at 6-ish because I went in with a plan. Today was just gravy, and I missed the breakout here at 7. This is the time to buy when it breaks the previous day high. What I did do this morning near the market open was recognize that TWER, which I have been recently buying, I'm actually shorting it into the failed spike here. You can see that back in June, it tried to get to 4, and this chart is all screwed up because they did a reverse split, but long story short, it could not really break 4, and so today, it broke 4 for about a minute, or 30 seconds, and when 4 became a top, that made me want to short it. If you ever miss a spike, and it looks like there's a solid wall of sellers, this is Tim Grittani's main strategy of shorting morning spikes. So I nailed the short here, just a small position in the 380s, and I covered in the 340s. It did crack, the 340s late day and go all the way down to 3, but I'm not going to hold all day when I've already, hit my goals in the morning. So that was my trade there. I also tried a little trade on MGT. No harm, no foul. I'm buying it as it started uptrending a little bit as the CEO began speaking at a conference. It was a little bit of a speculative idea. It happens, I'm not going to be right 100% of the time. And I took, puny profits on this one when his speech wasn't really about MGT. But I still profited because I was the first to recognize that the speech was happening. A few other people in the chat room. But after I posted in the chat room and I posted a link to the live stream, I saw several other chat rooms do it. And, everybody remembers MGT can run. So if you can spot when there's an event, and be first. Normally I like to piggyback moves, but on this one, it moves so quick, it pays to be a little speculative. So those were my trades today. Made a little bit, nothing great. More importantly, I was answering so many questions in today's price action really helps educate you guys. Here are my first 2 millionaire students, Tim Grattani, Michael Good. Again, Trading Challenge students get webinars from them all the time, and myself. And none of us are that special. You know, it's kind of surprising. A lot of people think, oh, are you like a genius? Like, you know, are you really smart? I don't think so. And I don't think anybody who's studied with me for a long time thinks so. It's just about adapting. And that was the theme of my webinar today. You know, there's no hard rules in stock trading. It's not like, you know, you must never, ever buy a stock under $1 share. Like, it's all guidelines, and you have to adapt to what works. And right now, you know, these low flow plays like SPU, you know, and their morning spikes, I mean, when it goes from 6 to 9 in like a few minutes, the risk reward is just so favorable to buying. It's insane. I don't know what short sellers are thinking. I know a lot of big shorts who can't adapt. They're very bitter people, if you ever follow them on social media. And they're bitter because they can't adapt and they can't take advantage. And they just think, oh, this stock is up. It's up on manipulation. It's a scam. It must go down. Shut up, guys. Just take advantage of the price action, whether it goes up or down. There's nothing worse than traders who can't adapt to what's working. And granted, these short sellers will possibly make money on the way down when these things crash, but who knows if there'll be shares to short? Who knows when that will be? For me, as your teacher, I'm trying to get you guys to play both sides. And lately, when I'm trading with a small account, the risk reward is so favorable to buying as opposed to shorting. So that's what I've been doing. You know, I made nearly $2,000 on SPU yesterday, and the stock doubled. And, you know, when the stock went from 5 to 6, everyone was like, oh, so you're a pumper. And I'm like, well, you know, this is what's hot right now. If that makes me a pumper, just trying to piggyback and follow what's hot, then so be it. And then today, you know, the stock doubled. I was a little too early on this one. And then we also had OPNG, or OPGN, my bad, which was the big runner today on rumors of Merck. You know, I don't like rumor stocks, but my chat room nailed it. I got to give props. I have a tweet somewhere. Where is it? Right here. Turbo Bob at 9:54 a.m. said, you know, OPGN long. And this was when the stock was at $1.99. When I tweeted, it was at 285, and it went all the way up to the 4s. Again, low flow, low market cap, morning spike. Turbo Bob gets it. So congrats to him. I got to give props to several other of my students. Dan made $2,500 profit. You know, just making a quick 50%, you know, in a morning. And look at this kid. I love this kid's picture. Like, look at him. He's just a kid on a skateboard, and he's making $2,500 in a few hours. Here was Andrew P. He's pumped. He bought OPTT at 882, sold it at 1050, $1,600 profit in 10 minutes. That is a great, great thing. Here's Ben. He sold OPGN a little too soon. He's like, I don't know whether to be happy I'm profited or pissed I sold too soon. Be happy, okay? And this is another young kid. He's a fencer. He likes defense. So awesome job. You know, whether you're a skateboarder or a fencer, the stock market doesn't care. You know, all that matters is that you can try and profit. Here is Sean, made $2 a share on OPTT. Here's Michael. I love this one. You know, scared trading today, but made it happen. You don't have to trade aggressively on these stocks. You don't have to be like, oh, you know, OPTT goes from 5 to 15. I got to be there the whole time. You take a little piece of the move, and you'll be surprised at how quickly it adds up. And I don't know anybody who trades these stocks aggressively. You know, that's just asking for it. So trade scared, but buy the breakouts, buy dips when they hold support. Here's Andrew Thompson. You know, whether you have a small account and small gain or big account and bigger gains, it's all about learning to take advantage of this volatility. I show you these students not to brag, but to show you, look at what these guys are doing. Here's Adrian, you know, and he's chilling, and he made, you know, 40 cents a share on OPTT on a $2,000 account. That's great. That is how it's done. So if you want to be my next millionaire student, you don't have to be special. You just have to learn these patterns, recognize them, and ideally take a little piece of the move, whether you're making 30 cents a share, 50 cents a share. It's not as random as you think. Right now, I should mention, I'm in TOPS. This had a big morning spike this morning. This has a really low float. And, I don't normally like to buy these stocks. This has a terrible history, but huge volume. And most importantly, it held its gains, all day. It spiked from the ones to the mid twos. And you can see it has a solid base here. So I'm in at like 228. If for some reason it doesn't spike tomorrow, okay, no harm, no foul. And I'll cut losses and I'll sell at 220 or 215 and I'll lose 5 or 10 cents a share. But if it can break the afternoon highs of 245 or the morning highs of 250, I mean, this could see the 3s or even the 4s tomorrow. So when there's 10, 20 cents a share of downside risk and $1 or $2 of upside risk, I mean, that's like 10 to 1 risk reward. I'm not going to hold for the 3s or the 4s. I would love to just make 50 cents a share, maybe 75 cents a share if we get a big spike. But what I want you thinking about right now in this market specifically is how to position yourself for these kinds of spikes. If I try and buy this tomorrow, and let's say it is spiking at 245, 250 a share, this was literally, in like 4 minutes. So you cannot be late on these stocks. And we have a solid base. It's up a little bit after hours already. So you have to try and anticipate it. And it's kind of confusing for some people because they're like, why are you buying it? I'm buying anything that is moving. I'm piggybacking the move that already happened. And, when a stock spikes like this, it can easily come back down. Most of these stocks do. But when it holds the spikes for the entire day, and not even just holds it, I mean, the morning low was 207, the midday low was like 210, the afternoon low was like 220. So it's uptrending gradually. And again, I could be wrong. I have no inside information. I know nothing that's going on. But it's also in this sector, GLBS, which is spiking. And GLBS, I thought about buying. It's spiked big in the past before. I've made money on it in the past. But I don't like chasing. And GLBS, I really don't know where the base is. It was uptrending, it's uptrending, it's uptrending. With tops, I have a very set base, and I might lose, 10 to 20 cents a share. I got to give props to some students. I went back into the archives because I was giving the webinar this morning, but just so many people, whether you have a big profit or a small profit. Garcia made money on CERU. Mind Sculptor banked on TWER. And mind you, TWER, I shorted it on this failed spike, but if you were prepared or overnight, I mean, this was spiking yesterday. So I know some of you guys are under the pattern day trader rule. If you hold the stock overnight, it's not a day trade. So you can hold endless stocks overnight. And if you're buying this stock into the close in the 320s and you're flipping it today in the 370s, 380s, you're making 20% overnight and you're not wasting a day trade. So really, especially props to these guys, or if you're just buying it right at the market open. Mind Sculptor, Steve Christmas, it is Christmas. He made 10%. Here's Osiris, banked on OPTT, got in and out. Casey was in and out on OPTT. Major Hitman, nice $1 a share on SPU morning spike. This is what I was saying. Tyler held this one overnight, in at 315, out at 390. I don't know his position size, but let's just say it's 1,000 shares. If he puts in $3,000 and he comes out with 3,900, nice little $700 plus profit overnight, not even wasting a day trade. And you can do this even if he had 500 shares and he puts in $1,500. Guess what? He's still making a few $100s overnight with very little risk. So I really want you thinking about what stocks are going to be morning spiking, and how can you be prepared? Do you have enough day trades, or do you have time to buy it right at the market open? And if it doesn't spike, are you willing to exit? I'm sure some people bought TWER for a big morning spike and didn't get it, and they held and they hoped, and hope is not a strategy. So I think that it's better to buy before the market close. Obviously, it's a little risky to hold overnight because news can happen, but you don't waste a day trade and you're prepared. So here's JK from Nova, made 50 cents a share on TWER. T Leaders, BGI, he made 30 cents a share. BGI was another little, attempted morning spiker. Didn't really catch on, but you can still profit if you're quick. The problem comes in when you're not quick and when you just hold and when you hope. So I don't want you, like saying, oh, this stock could spike, and then for whatever reason, it doesn't. You know, HDSN yesterday we saw had really big news. And, you know, I held it overnight from the 520s and I sold it in the 570s. That was a good trade. But even despite the news, it was just downtrending all day. And even now on day 2, it's downtrending. Sometimes the news, even if the news is great, you know, you have to focus on the price action. The more important news is the price action news. And that's very tough for people to get because they're like, big contract, this stock needs to go up. Nothing needs to happen. I got a comment this afternoon, this morning, I don't remember, midday. OPTT was here in the 11s, and it was like, I don't know if he was short or if he was just commenting, but there was a guy in my chat room, he's like, this has to come down. No, it doesn't. And I corrected him, and I didn't know that I was going to be right, you know, within an hour, but no stock has to go down. No stock has to go up. What I want you guys to learn to do is to react to price action. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Here is Invest126 shorted GLBL, made 20 cents a share. Nadim made nearly 30 cents on OPGN. Champ made 30 cents a share on OPGN. Relives made 30 cents a share on OPGN. Chili Investor made 30 cents a share on OPGN. Are you beginning to see this? You know, people are learning. M. Anthony made 30 cents a share on ZAIS. Major Hitman made 40 cents on SPU. I can do this all day long. I mean, just read through these. CMW made 500 on OPTT. Doug made nearly 30 cents on OPGN. DV Havoc made $1 a share on OPTT. Sal made some good money on OPGN, and he says only $61, but it was worth it. Don't feel bad if you're trading with a small account. I hate these big bastard traders, many of them who are these negative short sellers who rip on people who are just beginning. I'm sorry, big, bad, cynical pieces of crap. Not everyone is born with all this money, okay? Some of us began with just a few $1,000s. In fact, most of my top students and I began with just a few $1,000s. And if you can't find a few $1,000s, come on, guys. Run a paper route, you know. Figure out a way to sell stuff online. Become a Profitly affiliate. You know, you do need money. You cannot trade with zero money, okay? You can trade with a few $100s, but ideally you have a few $1,000s to trade with, just to get you on the right mindset. I know that it's cruel and unfair because you want to learn and you want to make money and you only have 50 bucks to your name. Well, I'm sorry. Homeless people don't trade the stock market. I'm sorry to crush your dreams, but figure out a way to make a few $100 or a few $1,000s. And more importantly than trading right away, you need to study. A lot of you guys are so worried about trading right away. Some of my best students take 3, 6, 9 months of studying before they ever risk a dime of their hard-earned money. So think about that. Here's RY Dilly, made 50 cents on OPTT. Bailey made $2 a share on OPTT. MyPro Wireless made $3 a share on OPTT. Ari Wong made $4 a share on OPTT. You know, I want you to see that there's not just one right way to trade this. YM Chief, you know, in at 950, out at 10 on SPU. Here's Rashikesh Parakar. I'm sorry for not understanding your name. Making $2.50 on OPTT. This is far better than I would have done at all on OPTT if I had traded it today. I love this. This said, V-Man said, made some money, but mainly learned a lot today. Thank you, Tim, for your efforts and your time. And I appreciate that. You know, this is what it's all about. I know I talk about the money and I show you students who are banking, but I'm just trying to get you to learn, to see how many different students there are. This is why you should be in my chat room. Okay, we have 1,000+ pairs of eyes. No other chat room has that many pairs of eyes looking at stocks, commenting, and we're curating. You know, I'm sorry that my moderators and I are kind of aggressive, but we want to find hot stocks and alert hot stocks. We don't have time for anything else. If you want questions, again, my top students and I do Q&A webinars. That is the time to ask questions. Jaco made 600 on OPGN. MyPro Wireless made $1 a share on OPGN. MyPro Wireless, good job. Bree Report made 140 bucks. GSSR made like 80 cents a share on OPGN. This was a midday spike. So midday spikes are a thing now too. Usually it's just morning spikes, but this market is so hot. This is what's happening. P-Town Trader made 20% and Avery Wong made 25%. And then also CMW, my first real trade, made 2,500. That's awesome, but don't get cocky. So these are the, oh, by the way, TOPS is spiking a little bit as I'm recording this, and it's just another low flow play. So I wish short sellers all the luck in the world shorting these low floats. I guarantee they will crash eventually, but right now, I'm long biased because the risk reward is just too good, and you can see these things spiking. I got to go work out. Have a good day, guys. I want to see you in the chat room tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Be ready. Probably going to have another busy day, so get some sleep tonight. Thank you.